All right, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. As always, I'm Adam. If you don't know that by now, I guess there is a title card at the bottom. But anyway, be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. We're doing a giveaway right now. It's for this high grade Beyond Global RX-78-2. Once I hit 400 subscribers, I'll go through the comments, kind of randomly pick someone. So be sure to comment if you haven't. And why not comment? So far, the comments I get are awesome. People correct me in all the right ways. Thanks for the comments. So to get started, we are on the 4th episode of Gundam Unicron. Be sure to watch the first 3 if you haven't yet. So at the end of the 3rd episode, The Ghost of Laplace, we see Banager, after fighting with Full Frontal, kind of fall to Earth. And so we're kind of now at that next spot to see what happens. What's interesting is we see the great-grandfather Fist that's been around for so long. He was the one that kind of started the whole thing off by doing that terrorist attack on the Laplace colony. But what's interesting here is that he's kind of, I guess, recalling a memory of the Operation British, the colony drop on Australia. And I think what this is trying to tell the audience is that he feels bad for what has been occurring since keeping Laplace's box in hiding. But yeah, let's see where this goes. All right, so an amazing element of this episode is this battle at Dakar. So I guess Neo Zeon is sending an attack out. And what's really cool about this is we just get to see some awesome mobile suit battles. So for someone that's looking for mobile suit battles, you know, this episode 4 at the beginning is a perfect place to watch. And we see this cool Neo Zeon mobile suit. Actually, I should have looked it up before recording this, but this is the one that's obviously piloted by a cyber new type of some type. And they send a crazy beam of energy just down the city block, totally destroying tons of people, mobile suits. All right, and then we start getting into a lot of talkity talk. Here is where a lot of the setup for the next phase of Unicron is headed, where Bright Noah is then being brought down. He's meeting with the Prime Minister of the Earth Federation, asking him to get his Londo Bell crew to go and try to find the Garanciers. I think I said it right on the first time. It's that Neo Zeon vessel that we see Zinnerman in, that they're the ones that are going after the Unicron as well. But there's a little discussion being had here with Bright Noah and the Prime Minister, which, what's his name? Ronin Marcenas. I gotta get all these names down. And this is actually where Riddy is, where he brought Mineva. But really, here Ronin is saying, hey, look, Bright, you're used to piloting these flagships that happen to contain Gundam pilots. Can you help us find the Unicron? And as the story moves forward, you know, Mineva is down on Earth with Riddy. He's able to hide among his family with Mineva. But it gets to a point where, you know, Riddy is then asking Mineva to join her family. The idea is that, you know, he sees that Mineva's not happy about where she is in terms of her family and, you know, being from the zombies. And then Riddy, too, with the background of his family and the atrocities that they have concocted. So he's almost proposing to her, that proposition being to join the family. And she just sees that as another layer of being suppressed. You know, she doesn't want to have any of it. And so they actually take off. All right, and then we get to a part of the story where Marida, that was captured by the Earth Federation, now brought down to Earth, is actually speaking with Martha Vist and Alberto Vist. Oh, all those names you remember. Now, if you remember, Alberto is with Anaheim Electronics. He's been the one with the Earth Federation ship, and this is the Nail Argama. And so what's interesting to think about that is, as we're following Alberto Vist, he seems to care somewhat about the people on the ship, where in terms of he doesn't want to really be put in danger or put people in danger that don't want to be there. And so even we see here, we see how Martha Vist is then letting Marida know that she's really Puru 12, which I believed I pronounced it right that time. Thanks everyone in the comments. And, you know, so she is that clone, right? And so they're just going to recondition her. Right now, she's kind of been able to be one of her own, remove herself from that conditioning, which, I don't know if Zeon, while she's with Zinnerman, kept conditioning her, or she's really free of that, and these are the choices she's making. Regardless, now that they are going to recondition her to use her to get the unicorn. And we get a special surprise from the Q-Blade Mark II. I said Q-Blade. Could it be Quay-Blade? Quay-Blade. Then we get the back and forth with the Garancier's crew, the Neo Zeon ship that is also following the Unicorn. As they're entering Earth, the Unicorn uses the ship to be able to land safely. Now, at this point, I guess they need to be able to communicate with the rest of Neo Zeon to let them know where they're at. So this is when we see Zinnerman and Banager go on a little trek in the desert to kind of talk about life and things. And then, interestingly enough, Mineva had kind of ran off, and then she found this on Earth. She found this random diner to kind of step into and have a conversation with a man that's always lived on Earth. And it's an interesting back and forth because it's actually where, for the sake of the story, we have two perspectives talking about things. We have the guy from Earth talking about what it's like to just live on Earth, never be in space. And we have Mineva, who is a space noid, just taking in that information of understanding what it's like to be on Earth, not be in space, knowing that she comes from a privileged background. It was very interesting back and forth, even if it is a little talky-talky, but I think it's good when it comes to setting story, character motives, etc. And then at this time, the authorities show up. They are asking her to come back. And that's when she kind of steps into herself as the royal, or as the princess of Neo Zeon, and she's saying how she will do things in her way. All right, and this is when the episode gets good. I might have mentioned that, beginning battle we saw at Dakar, and the ship is called the AMA X7 Shamblo, by the way. That's piloted by, give me just a second, I had that pulled up, Lonnie Garvey. And so after that fight at Dakar, Frontal sends a force to Torrington base, which is kind of a staple in kind of the UC Gundam military bases. And what happens is that Shamblo unit actually goes and appears there as well. Banager and the Garancier's team actually head there too, Banager with his Unicorn. But what we see, though, before then is just these remnant Zeon mobile suits just sort of appear and just start attacking, and it's quite awesome. And then as the Torrington battle is occurring, the Raw Kaiyum shows up, Bright Noah's ship from Londo Bell, the Londo Bell unit, and they have some Bryarlant Customs, which are some awesome mobile suits that are kind of used. They're like the Tri-Stars, if you want to think of like the older Zeon Zaku Tri-Stars. Like only recently kind of made that connection. But yeah, then they're kind of helping attack the Shamblo mobile suit. And Banager just did not want to shoot at this giant mobile suit, the Shamblo, even though he knew it was dangerous. He just did not want to kill who was inside. But Riddy didn't care. He used his Delta Plus and just took it out. Yeah, that was the way to go. But this is when the surprise cool part happens, and Marida, or Puru 12, shows up in the Banshee Unicorn. And its purpose really is to come down here, get the Unicorn, and get out. So overall, I liked this episode. It starts with the cool battle at Dakar, where we see some cool mobile suits fighting each other. And then we get Marida, who gets kind of brainwashed again into then piloting the Banshee. But what's also cool is the Torrington attack. It's just a cool kind of thing for Gundam fans, really, to see all different types of mobile suits that are just attacking each other. And Bright Noah being a part of it's really cool. And the introduction of the Banshee Unicorn. All right, there you have it. That's kind of like my quick overview of episode 4 of Gundam Unicorn, called At the Bottom of the Gravity Well. Let me know what you think in the comments. I gotta say, as it goes, the story just gets even crazier and so much cooler. But please leave a comment below if there's maybe some aspects I missed, maybe what your thoughts are on some of the characters. I still believe Banager's not really anything other than the person piloting the Unicorn, because people are getting killed anyway, and in the end, the key unlocks the box. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk later.